Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. We've got a great show planned tonight. I have to admit, I think I've done well today in this sweltering heat in a 12-hour shift in a chocolate factory, and I've managed to pull it all together. The coffin is still here, of course. Evening all, welcome to Through Black and White Eyes transfer update show. Please like and share, subscribe to promote the channel. It's all free. Don't forget, there's loads happening the last couple of days, and we're going to go from the absolute ridiculous to the sensible, which is what we like to do. Join from just 99p or donate using the super chat button in the bottom right-hand corner. You can also get raffle tickets for a mega prize draw on the 4th of August. You've just got to message me directly. Please adhere to community guidelines, keep comments respectful, and enjoy the show. Evening, Dick Guys, you were in there early. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Peter Griffin. Go and do that without coughing. Do not do that again, Barry. Hi all, Emily. How are you doing? I am feeling a lot better, by the way, as you can tell. Just still got an annoying cough. Evening, Gary. Hope you're well, mate. Matt's in the house. Evening, Matt. Haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're okay, pal. Lee, haven't seen you for ages, mate. Hope you're well. Hope the shifts have all started getting in and your new job's going well. Or new role, I should say, not new job. He's logged in as himself this time. Evening show, how are you doing? Right, we're all up to date. Let's bring the co-host in.
Hello.
Superfan Dan.
How are you?
I just find it funny when everyone asks me, why is he called Superfan Dan? Is he a superfan? Superfan. It's just like, well, if you really want to know, just ask me nicely and say, why is Dan called Superfan Dan? Can I ask?
Because I wore a cape around the stadium here, so I guess I could wear a cape around St. James's, but I end up sitting on it, and it would just be silly. So
I think for one game you should wear a cape around St. James's Park. I think you should do a sponsor fly around St. James's Park. Now that would be fun.
We'd have to talk to all the stewards to make sure I could actually do it.
Well, they do the paragliding off it, don't they? Or something.
Oh shit, that thing. Oh yeah, okay,
yeah.
all right.
Wear a cape, zip line down it.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Straight onto the center circle.
That would be hilarious.
And then run towards the Gallagher end and score a penalty.
There you go. Sure, absolutely.
I love that idea already. It's all coming together. And we haven't even started the ridiculous yet, and we're already on it.
Good evening, all. Good evening, Lee. Good evening, Gary, Emily, everybody. Good to see all of you. Go on the roof with the cape.
Yes.
with my through black and white eyes.
Oh, this is killing me already.
Who's the absolute mung on the roof? Well, Superfan Dan.
It's Superfan Dan.
Don't you recognize the striped beard?
Brilliant. Right. The ridiculous. Let's start with the ridiculous.
Okay.
Right. Thank you very much, Mouth of the Tyne, who was an absolute wrong'un, as we all know. He got everyone thinking this was a plane for Knockaert's agents, when in fact he had thousands upon thousands of Newcastle fans following Sunderland's latest signing.
Yeah, great. Good stuff. Well done, man. Well done.
But he wasn't the only one who tweeted this out. There were lots of other people who tweeted it out. And guess who didn't?
Us.
These guys.
Yep.
Oh, yep. Wait a minute. I've got it. These guys. Who's got two thumbs and isn't stupid? These guys. Woo! It doesn't work for me.
I looked it up. It's an Apple operating system thing. So we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, we will. So Keith Downey put, "Don't believe the rumors," and then underneath it he put, and Mimi going, "Ooh, you're hard." So yeah, just ridiculous. And I mean, they had everyone going everywhere yesterday. They had Knockaert's agents coming up to Newcastle. They had Newcastle's agents going down to Burnley for Trafford, and they had people flying on a plane over to Italy to talk to Scavani's representatives. So,
meanwhile, Longstaff was told, "You can get on your bike, son."
Or was he?
No. I don't believe it. Yep.
So we've got information on Longstaff, and we're going to go through it because
Yep.
There's a lot of pros and cons with Longstaff, and I want to get it all out.
Yep.
Right, but first of all, fixture updates. So our first 3 games are on Sky.
Yeah.
Well, Villa game is on Sky because that was already arranged straight away. Then the Leeds game, Liverpool game wasn't, is it? No, Leeds then Liverpool, isn't it? So it's Leeds away on the 30th.
No. Liverpool's
the
one that was
And then
was on the 23rd, but it's now on the 25th.
Yeah, on a bloody Monday night.
Yeah.
And then they've got the Leeds fixture being moved to the 30th at 5:30 p.m. So a few little fixture timings change. So don't get caught out, guys. But we're on TV for the first 3 games because we're.
I think the happiest thing for me in all of that is that we have the 5:30 match against Leeds, which means it's a 9:30 a.m. kickoff for us. That'll be good. Our opening match is a 4:30 a.m. kickoff for us over here in the States, and then the game against Liverpool on Monday, that's going to be a noon kickoff for us. So, but noon on a Monday.
I like that.
So,
Blazing Bars and Superman Dan. Superman. Is it Blazing the dog? Is that right?
I don't remember. I don't remember the name of the dog. I thought it was Crypto.
I think you're right. It's Crypto. I was going to say I'm barking like a dog, so it'll fit in quite well. That. Welcome, Joey. It's good to see Joey in the chat. Yeah, you got to fly to Newcastle to get Sunderland. Well, exactly. I mean, Jesus, there were like thousands of people watching that flight. I mean, why would you sit there and watch a chartered flight? I don't get it. Right, let's go to the easy one. Obviously, Alanga has signed. Everyone was expecting the revealing tonight. It's probably going to be tomorrow. We're the slowest club to reveal any players. But to be honest with you, I'm not really bothered about the unveiling because the deal is done. He signed. It's finished with. Even though the Chronicle, of some reason, said there's something wrong with the paperwork, it's the Chronicle with clicks. Let's face it, they're useless. So Anthony Alanga is a Newcastle United player. So there's no need to worry about that. Right. A name. So.
A new one?
And sort of a new one. I think I mentioned them last week, but I've got some more stats on them. So this is Samu from Porto.
Okay.
Could this be the striker that we need?
Agahawa.
So the lad's only played 1 season for Porto. He's played 30 games, started 23 of them. He's got 19 goals. He's been in Team of the Week 5 times. Goals per game, he's 0.6. So he's basically a goal every other game, which is a fantastic ratio.
That's a wonderful ratio. Yep.
He's still young, I believe. I think he's only 21, if I remember rightly, when I was looking at his stats, 21, 22. The problem being would he come as a backup?
Exactly.
And how much would it cost us? Because if I remember rightly, he didn't cost that much for Porto. I think he was 15, 20 million for them. But I can imagine with those stats in that first season, they're going to want a hefty fee for him. And the one thing I noticed by his heat map, he's a bit of a goal poacher.
He's a poacher. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That red mark right in the middle of the goal, that to me says that he likes to get on the end of things. Obviously,
so the red mark in the center of the pitch is when he kicks off?
Probably. He kicks off a lot, doesn't he?
He does.
So, I mean, I would be happy if this was our guy. I really would.
Yeah.
I've never seen him play. I'm just reading his stats.
Yep. Well, and then the number of players that are coming from Portugal is kind of silly right now. Yorkie is going to Arsenal, but could be on loan from Sporting, and then this kid from Porto. Who else? And then I'm concerned for Brentford and Nottingham Forest because they're just bleeding players. It looks like Gibbs White is going to Spurs.
Well, they're interested, aren't they? I don't know if they've actually met the release clause yet or not.
And who's looking at Madueke? Is it
Arsenal?
Arsenal? Okay.
Yeah. Right, back to the ridiculous again, because someone brought it up, and I was going to save this for a little bit later on, but I might as well show it now. Have you seen Sunderland? They've signed 6 players that will go to the AFCON. So Sunderland fans think because they've spent £110 million on 6 players, so that's not even 20 million a player on average.
Right.
We
Right.
bought one player at 55 million, which is half their budget on an actual star. They think they're winning the window.
And all 6 are all African players, so they'll all be representing countries in the AFCON.
All 6 will be off to the AFCON.
Goodness gracious, deluded. Nope, I won't say that out loud. No, I feel bad for them. I really do. So
I think he was. This is Samu they're talking about. I think he was
yeah,
Atletico Madrid and Porto bought him, if I remember rightly.
I can look it up.
Yep, he was. Yeah, he went on loan. So he was Atletico Madrid went to Alvarez, Deportivo Alvarez on loan, went back to Atletico Madrid, and then Porto bought him for 12.4 million. What a bargain!
No kidding.
12.4 million, and look what he did. So that, honestly, I am laughing at Sunderland because they think they've won the window, but yet they're going to lose all 6 players they've signed for like 2 months. Is it 2 months the AFCON if they get through to like semi-finals?
Like 6 weeks. Yeah. I just feel bad because
No. We never feel bad.
Not about Sunderland. I just feel bad for any team. I feel bad for any team whose owners have gone, look at what we've done. We've done great business. Oh shit, we're going to lose all 6 of them. Foresight, guys. You got to look at the big picture, not just not just the horizon.
Exactly.
So all right. Do we have more ridiculous?
I think that's it for the ridiculous now.
Are we moving into the
we're moving into
the deluded?
No, I think we've done deluded as well because that was Sunderland.
I was doing the rounds. I was up early this morning. Another dog issue. So I was up early this morning and was cruising the YouTubers. Of course, you guys are 8 hours ahead of us. So there were some guys that were these were all things that were being released at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, my time. So around noon, your time. I have been looking. I haven't seen any other reports of Newcastle going in for Editeki again. We'll
talk about that later.
Oh, that's where I was thinking the deluded.
No, I don't know if that's deluded or not. But I'll tell you what is deluded. Newcastle United are interested in signing Jack Grealish.
I don't see
deluded.
it.
It's not happening.
Don't see it. Nope.
Now, what would be funny is if Wissa went to Spurs and then Mbeumo didn't go to Man United.
That would be amusing.
What would be even better is if Wissa came to Newcastle.
That also would be amusing.
Because then we'd be the one kicking them in the teeth.
Yep.
I don't know about this one, me, but Douglas Luiz from Juventus, they only won 25 million euros.
What is he, 32?
Yeah. I mean, could you see it? I couldn't see it.
I don't. And is he still together with the bird from Villa?
Probably.
Is she Swiss? You know which one I'm talking about.
No. Jamie Vardy's finished in the Premier League, mate.
Yeah. Trying to remember what the name of the girl is. Tall, blonde.
I can't remember.
I don't either. Yep.
Yeah, Wissa would be a fantastic signing. I just can't see him playing backup. That's the only problem.
But the problem with Wissa is he's also 29,
28. Yeah, coming to 29. Yeah. So again, it's short term fix.
Vardy's 53.
Yeah, Vardy's 53. Yeah. Is it her? Is it? Yes, it is.
Lehman. Yeah. Lehman is the last name.
I know who you mean. If he's a professional women's footballer, I probably would have got it. But there we go.
Alicia. Yeah. I was trying to say Ashley or something like that, but Alicia.
We got hammered by the girls' team and by the under 15s, the women's team recently. Quite funny that.
Cheers,
I
Joey.
would love Morgan Gibbs White, to be honest with you.
I would too.
He would be fantastic. I just don't see us paying 60. This is the frustrating. Oh, we'll come to it later. Yep, agreed on that. Right. Where was I going to go? Right, yes. These rumours aren't going away. Mark Gay
Yeah.
again. Now again, he's gone into 6-4 with the bookies, but I don't know if that's because of all the hype yesterday. That was all fake hype, and the bookies have just reacted to it as they always do. You know, if they think there's a possibility they're going to lose money, they'll just shorten the odds, regardless if it's true or not.
Do we want him though?
Yes. If he's 40 million,
if it's
yes.
okay, but if it's Scalvini versus Gay,
well, the rumors are these are rumors, by the way, guys. I'm not saying this is inside information. That this is what we've been told. These are rumors that Eddie Howe wants Gay and Nicholson wants Sclavani. But I don't know if Gay is an easier deal to do because he's in the last year of his contract.
Well, Scalvini has 3 years.
Yeah, and they don't really want to sell him.
Right.
So that's the issue. But the Gay won't go away. Liverpool haven't wrapped it up as quickly as everyone thought they would. I mean, as soon as I heard that Liverpool were in for Gay, I thought, well, that's
We
it.
figured that was it. That was it. But I mean, and Gahey would walk into their squad.
Yeah.
Because Gomez, who did they just sold Kwanzaa to Leverkusen.
Yeah.
I'm Liverpool. I said this to a friend the other day, a Liverpool supporter. I said, Liverpool is making moves to ensure that their dynasty for the next 5 years is intact. The only challenge they have at this point is who are they going to replace Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah with?
Yeah,
They have every other position is covered.
That is true.
So I don't know. Yep, it's interesting.
Oh, yeah, you had to put Calvert-Lewin in there and ruin that window. I'm not a fan. No one's a fan. I don't think.
I said this the other day. I will take Dominic Calvert-Lewin on a pay-as-you-go contract. He won't do it, but that's. I mean, he's a 5-year younger version of Callum Wilson.
Yeah.
We just offered the same terms to Callum Wilson simply because of his fitness record. But if you look at last year's stats, Calvert-Lewin played like 26 games last season.
Yeah, he did all right, to be fair.
He only scored 3 times.
There's the problem.
But he played 26. But he was playing in a shit Everton team.
True. He never played against. Did he play against us? Did he?
He did. He didn't play the last. Was it the last game of the season?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Last game of the season. I can't remember seeing him then. I don't know if he was injured.
I don't mind the idea of a Calvert-Lewin as long as he knows he's back up to Isak.
Yeah.
He'll come on in the 75th minute. So he's going to get the same game time that he was getting at Everton, provided he was fit. If he's not fit, he's not playing at all. And that's the problem. You know, again, fantastic servant that Callum Wilson was for us. 130 games out of 229. That means he missed 99 games over 5 years.
Yeah.
He's averaging 20 games a season he was missing.
Which is a lot.
That's a lot of games. So, but a fit Callum Wilson guaranteed goals. What we're seeing last season was a fit Calvert-Lewin doesn't guarantee goals.
No, he doesn't.
But he would have much better service in this team than he would at Everton. So, there's pros and cons, and we talked about those last episode. I don't mind the idea of a Calvert-Lewin, especially on a free transfer, but I would not, just because he's a free transfer doesn't mean he gets a 10 million pound signing bonus and he gets 100 grand a week. That would be astronomically stupid.
Yeah,
if we agreed to any of that. So
exactly. I mean, the
yep,
rumours from the guys at work who are Leeds fans, they're obviously interested in Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and
yep,
apparently their agent said they want 150 grand a week. But when we approached, apparently our agent, agent to Newcastle,
yep,
it was 120, I think we said last
right,
week, wasn't it?
right.
But I mean, he's not getting anywhere near that.
No, well, I have no idea what he's on at Everton. I
I
would think it's probably 50, 60. So he's looking to double his wages. He's looking at Embuemo saying, I want 4 times what I'm getting. Okay, but you're not Embuemo. You're not
Yeah,
25 anymore. And you're not putting up the stats that Embuemo is. So,
yeah,
I feel bad for him because I think he knows that this next contract he signs is going to be the last one he signs.
potentially, yeah. He'll struggle to
I
get
mean,
another one. If he gets a
if
5-year deal, it'll be the last one, but someone might only want to risk 2-3 years with him, which
right.
means he might have 2 contracts left in him, but it'll be tough. So I see the pros and cons of it. I would like to think we've got money to buy someone a bit better.
Well, and my thing with Gahey is I'd take Gahey because he scores goals. He scores goals against himself for us.
Reasonably
He was
goals
our
last year
he
as
was
well.
our he was our top scorer against Crystal
Yeah.
Palace last season. Um,
No, he wasn't.
it's
It was at their ground, but not in general.
that's
Remember,
what I meant.
we did tonk them at St James's Park. Remember?
um, I just I feel it's a bit revisionist, to go in for him again after we went in for him last season and got jerked around. I wouldn't put it past Parish to try and pull the same shit. Okay, we'll give you 40. No, I want 50. Okay, we'll give you 50. No, I want 60. No, 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 no. We're not doing this again.
No.
Deja vu. Nope, sorry.
Peter, to be honest with you, I have not heard anything from anyone that I talk to that Grealish is anywhere near our football club, and it does not make sense. So it's a no, as far as I'm aware. But again, we get things wrong. Other things happen we don't hear. You just never know. I know. No, we're not going
Not the
down that route.
not the character that we want. That's not the
Exactly.
character that Eddie Howe would sign.
Yeah, I can't see that happening.
I think the apologist will be in him will be all I'm a changed man. I'm a this, that, and the other.
Mm.
I'm actually with the bird. She actually gave birth. All that kind of stuff. But it just
He did it.
too much water under that bridge. Sorry.
Absolutely. Right, Ekateke. So his name won't go away again. Eddie Howe likes his targets, though, doesn't he? When Eddie Howe chases a player, he sees it through, regardless if it's a year or 2 years later. Now, he had a rough time at Paris Saint-Germain. His agent really did the wrong career move for him. Because, I mean, he was never going to get a game there, was he? With Messi there and Mbappe there and all that sort of stuff. He obviously realised that eventually, took his time. He moved himself to Germany, and he's been on fire last season. So I think he's starting to turn into the player I expected him to, which I was hoping would be for us. But obviously, he had other ideas.
With age comes wisdom.
Exactly. And maybe a different agent.
Maybe. Does he now have the same agent as Alanga?
Yeah,
Apparently
wow.
that's been the holdup for us is that Alanga changed representation.
Yeah, he changed his agent, but that's all sorted. But yeah, depending on the price, I think him and Isak would work really well. I think Isak can drop as a 10. I think Ekateke can drop as a 10, and they can feed off each other. I think Eddie Howe needs to start looking at changing the system because you can't keep playing 4-3-3 and getting away with it. So it doesn't go away. It all depends on the price for me, Dan. It really does.
Agreed. If he's 80 million, no, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole at that point.
Sal Anthony going for 80 million and bring Ekateke in. The update on Nalanga is he should be announced tomorrow, but don't take that as gospel. Trafford is hit a snag, so I wouldn't expect too much on Trafford, to be honest with you, at the moment. they keep moving the goalposts apparently. So let's just see what happens with that. But yeah, Ekiteke, I don't know what you guys think in the chat. I know we spoke about him a lot last summer and everyone was dead against it. But seeing how he's matured, I think he could be worth a risk.
I just agree. Again, the buying price, the asking price is the limiting factor for me. So,
of course. Right. We'll take a break from football and we'll quickly go through our sponsors. So Diacro, absolutely fantastic. Baz20 code for 20% off. Link will be in the description. I haven't put the description in yet because I didn't get time. But it will be there.
If anybody's interested in that Macam Slayer shirt, just know on the back it has the number 23 and it says Macam Slayer across the shoulders as well.
Yeah.
It's a good looking kit.
The picture of the bird comes with it.
There you go.
The Jordland Experience. If you're not from the Newcastle Erics, I know a lot of people watch this channel who are from abroad as well, potentially. If you're ever over in Newcastle and you want to have an experience and learn the culture and learn all the wonderful places you can visit in Northumberland and Newcastle and all that sort of stuff, get in touch with these guys and they'll get you an experience booked. We also have a fantastic charity football game, 3rd of August. Can't wait to do this. Thank you to Henderson's Taxis of Stanley. So if you need a taxi in Stanley, scan that Q card, get the number in your phone. They've sponsored the event, which is amazing. This is the running of it. Loads on there. You know, we've got free face painting for kids, free soft play area, all that sort of stuff. And I am doing a raffle as it is at the moment. There's 7 prizes, £1 a ticket. There's a £25 Love to Shop vouchers also in it. I just haven't got a picture of them because they're at work. But there's all the prizes. Amazing stuff. Just contact me directly if you want tickets. It's £1 a number. We'll try to sell as many as we can, and the draw's on the 4th of August, the day after the game.
How many numbers have we sold thus far, Bass?
I think we're over 600-700, I think.
There you go.
I think.
We would love to sell 1,000, folks.
Yes, exactly. I'd love to sell more, but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right, let's get back to the football. Really sorry to hear that, Fergus. I hope everything goes well. I would still like to see Ekiteke, as you said. The price has got to be right, though. He is a class kid, to be fair. There we go. Right. Another player that Ian mentioned about a month and a half ago. Mr. Jack Rodoni. Rodoni. Is that
Rodoni.
From Coventry. Now, he's had an absolute fantastic season, but he is 24 now. So the age is at an age where he needs to, if he's going to step up, he needs to do it now. He reminds me a lot of the player that Brighton bought from Celtic. I forget his name. O'Reilly.
Yeah.
I really liked him as well. This kid could be worth a gamble. I don't know what the price would be. I mean, Coventry didn't pay too much for him. But to start 40 games, 9 goals, 12 assists, that's 21 goals and assists in those games. So that's,
he play in the engine room.
Yeah, he's a attacking midfielder. He's a centre midfielder, so he fits in well with our system. And he can also move into a number 10 role and potentially play that very well. I did try and speak to a Coventry fan, but I didn't get a chance to do it because I wanted to find out what his thoughts of him. Right. So I will get back to you on that because I think this could grow legs depending on whether we want to dip into the Championship or not.
And players that we've signed from Coventry have not done poorly.
Yeah.
Well, we've signed some good players from Coventry before.
Bellamy.
That's what I was thinking.
Wilson's a Coventry lad, but we bought him obviously from Bournemouth, but he still counts in my eyes. So I think he could be, Adam, hope you're well, mate. I think he could be worth a shot, to be fair. Sacrifice Gordon for Gibbs, White and Ekiteke, decent shot. Both of them for 2 players for 1. And you've still got Barnes. I mean, I love Gordon.
But my thing is, I think that we've taken Alonga from Forest. I don't think Forest would be looking to give us another player, even if we came in with the right amount of money.
There's a 60 million release clause. There's nothing they can do about it.
Right.
So if we offered that, he's coming, or potentially.
But at the same time, I'm looking at it going, and we just handed Nottingham Forest 115 million pounds. What
Yeah.
does that do for their PSR? What does
Oh,
that do for amortize for their amount? I mean, because what we're expecting Alonga to sign a 5-year deal, so there's what 11 million per season or something like that they get to then quantify. However, the PSR math works. It just it's something else.
you want quality players though.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
cheers. Hope you're well, mate. But yeah, he's another player I like. I like the look of. Ian obviously mentioned him 6 weeks ago.
Yep.
It's only come out in the press a couple of days ago that we might be looking at him. So again, another win-win for the lads on the channel. So well done,
Yep.
Ian. Right. So that's all the. I mean, let's get to the Longstaff stuff, right? Because this is a bit of a pain in the backside. So at one point, the Chronicle are announcing Newcastle United have accepted 10 million plus 2 million add-ons for Sean Longstaff. He's on his way
From
out.
Leeds.
From Leeds.
From Leeds. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's on his way out. It's even David Ornstein said the same thing, and he's normally bang on the money. So, I'm thinking all the lads at work are asking me what kind of player Sean Longstaff is, and I'm like, you've got yourself a solid player. He's an 8. He's a box-to-box. He's got a great engine on him. He's not flash. They're all getting excited because they're thinking, oh, we need someone a bit like that. And, Premier League experience, he'll do a good job for you. He'll help you try and stay in the league.
Yep.
And the next thing I hear from them, it's not being accepted. I'm like, eh?
Rejected a 3rd time.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then everyone says, well, for a player who scored in the Champions League, who's got us to a cup final, scored in semi-finals of cups and stuff like that, surely we should be asking for more. And I'm like, no. Sean Longstaff, when he had 2 years left on his contract, at best was a 25 million pound player.
Right.
With 1 year left on his contract, at best, he's a 10 to 15 million pound player.
Yep.
Now they're right in the middle of that valuation. So we would
at
be
12. Yep.
At 12, we would be stupid not to accept it. The thing is, though, if we do accept it and we take the 10 plus 2, that gives us 50 million of PSR to spend on a replacement.
Mm-hmm.
So then you've got to go out and find a replacement. And then he won't be homegrown. So there's the catch sort of 22 on it. Now, this is what I got. We all got sent. We might have read this. You might not have done. You might have missed it. But this has been put into our group chat on Twitter, not on the WhatsApp one. And I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm going to read it to you because I always said, if I ever get anything, I read it out word for word. It's not me who's saying it. And we like to discuss these things. Right, word for word. Paul Mitchell had the pull over Eddie until Eddie won the cup. Eddie complained as he couldn't work with him, hence why he's left. Very interesting. Eddie oversees transfers now. Back then, Mitchell pulled 3-4 players into the office and made Eddie tell them they had no future in the summer and for their agents to find clubs. Sean was a main target as he was pure profit. Last Jan, he was up for sale for 22 million, which was, I said he's worth about 25 million with 2 years left on his contract.
Right.
This window, Leeds bid 10 to 12 million and it's being rejected. NUFC want 18 million. So the 6 million short of the valuation.
Oh.
But it's a lot of money to consider because 6 million times 5, that's an extra
that's another 30.
30 million on top of so that's an 80 million pound player instead. So
right.
it makes a massive difference. All these reports of Newcastle accepting Leeds bid for 12 million are false. Sean's agents being busy and set up a deal with Leeds, agreed personal terms with Leeds, but Leeds had to pay up. Now, this is the main thing. Eddie had a face-to-face meeting with Sean yesterday, so this was Tuesday, and asked him to stay due to the amount of games we have to play. Eddie wants to strengthen in other areas, and his budget that they want to strengthen in goalkeeper, centre-half and striker after Alanga. They expected Wilson to stay and agree a 12-month extension, but the player wanted to move on. Now we need to replace Wilson. Eddie wants to keep Sean, cleared the air with him as a squad player, but has told him he feature a lot next season. They know he's reliable centre mid backup player and think if they take 12 to 15 million, they have spent at least double, if not treble, for a player. Eddie wants Trafford Gear in next and then a striker. To be confirmed. Deal's off at the minute unless Leeds pay way more. Eddie wants him to stay. That is the word for word message we received about Sean Longstaff.
But then, are they going to work on an extension for Longstaff so that we get something for him? That's the biggest concern I have. Is he is now into his last year of his contract. If he stays and he gets minutes in the Carabao Cup, in the FA Cup, in in the domestic cups, he'll
probably
get
play
chances.
a few minutes before and after Champions League games as well in the Premier League.
Right.
It depends who we're playing. If we've got, like, say, a Palace at home, a Fulham at home, a Leeds at home, and when we've got a Champions League game on the might rest Bruno and throw Longstaff in, for example.
Right.
So they're all going to be game time for him. But you are right. Do we risk losing 50 million PSR money? Not his actual transfer fee, PSR money we're talking about.
That's the amortized amount, right?
Yep. Or do we keep him because we know we've got a reliable player? And is he worth more than 55 million PSR because we're keeping him and the squad has got more depth?
For me, for this deal to make sense, for us to give up 10 to 12 million, or even ask for 15, looking to get it, 15.
Mm-hmm.
Agree, 100% with that comment. We don't want to lose him for nothing. So if we convince him to stay and he wants to stay, then the very first thing we've got to do is we've got to get him to agree to a 1-year extension, so that we at least next summer, when we've done even better in the Champions League, when we've won another domestic cup, when we've accomplished more at the end of this upcoming season, then we can let him go. He's another year older. He's a veteran player. Not that he isn't now, but I mean, he's a veteran player that someone in either a promoted side or a side that's going down, or a team challenging for promotion in the championship would all be willing to plunk up for him. That kind of thing. I don't see the logic in convincing him to stay to lose him for free next summer. That's the only thing. And I hope someone is in Eddie's ear going, we got to get him to do this. And I would think that Longstaff wouldn't reject a 1-year extension. I can't see that.
I don't think so, as long as he's got promise of
agreed
the time, and then maybe the thing is, Adam, if we sell him for 10, 12 million, it equates to 50 million in PSR. So we are actually, we're not losing out on money if we buy a replacement. It's just we've got to find a replacement and we've got to hope that he works out.
Right.
And then if you are buying a player for 50 million, you're getting a better player than Sean Longstaff. Let's face it.
Well, if you sell a Sean Longstaff for 10 to 12 and you're able to buy David Rodoni for 20, well, then you're done pretty good. But you don't know whether or not Rodoni is going to be the same player that Longstaff is.
Yeah. And this is another good thing. Everyone says that Howe's too sentimental, but ask Ryan Fraser, ask Hayden, who's never seen anywhere near the Newcastle shirt again. Ask Lewis Jamal Lewis.
Yep.
Played a few games. Eddie Howe said no and got rid of him.
Harrison Ashby.
Well, he's still in around.
I understand that. We've never seen him.
No.
He's
not good enough at the moment. But we will.
So a couple of us saw him in the States in 23.
Yeah.
Because he played, he did play in Philadelphia and he did play in New Jersey. We saw him play.
Oh, that's a big statement. I think Sean Longstaff's a very low mid-table Premier League player. Personally, I don't see him getting any in the top 10 at a push. Maybe Fulham.
I was going to say Crystal Palace.
Palace,
I would
no,
say
not their midfield. No way. Palace have got a great midfield. Adam Wharton.
okay, but yeah,
Eze.
but Will Hughes is not getting any younger.
Yeah, Lloyd Kelly's another good example.
There you go. Yep.
Yeah, they got booted out as quickly as possible. I saw a
Yeah,
headline
I
that
saw
Harris
that too.
promoting 7
Yep.
players up to the senior squad. Yeah, I reckon Harrison Ashby will be one of them. Kalu might get another chance. You never know. There'll be Shah, Sanusi, potentially. There's Neve.
There were I think it was 11 players were handed new contracts, and that was including
as well.
the 3 teenagers that just signed their first contract. So yep, that sounds right.
Tell me another team bar the top 8. Oh, I'll have to get the league table up and have a look. I don't really have time to do. I mean, in the top 10, I can't see him getting in at all. Because there was Brighton, Villa, Forest. He's not getting any of those teams, and they were all in the top 10, weren't they? Fulham.
Right.
I mean, you'll get in an Everton team.
Right.
Look
or
where
Leeds
they finished.
team.
You're getting the Man United team.
Burnley team.
Yeah, Burnley.
Yeah, why is it Man United coming in and spending 50 again?
Yeah, exactly. I've been able to watch Ashby live for Queen's Park Rangers regulars on base next to their ground, and he's been absolutely awful at championship level. So
that's what I've heard. Yep.
But again, apparently he's been flying. Or Ashby, I'm thinking of Alfie Harrison for some reason. You're right, Ashby. Yeah, he's not been great, has he? And again, he was dubbed an amazing signing from West Ham, wasn't he?
Right.
Brentford, he could now potentially, because they sold Noseguard, didn't they, to Arsenal?
Yep.
Does he really walk in the Fulham team? Not sure about that.
I'll look.
I'd get in the Man United team. I love it. Forest have put a cheeky bid in for Wissa. Forest have as well. Yes, they have actually, Forest. That'd be a very good signing. I put my gran into this Everton team, so I take Longstaff in a heartbeat. Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Wolves. Wolves are a lower league team I think you'd walk into. But again, we're talking 12th downwards, aren't we, really? But there we go. Anyway, right. On to the fun bit. We've got another 10, 15 minutes or so.
Yep.
Oh, apologies for the coughing. I think Longstaff's off the ball stuff is really underrated. I agree with that. That's why he's on the ball is a problem. He actually runs faster when he's running into ball for time off cricket club than he is on a football field at times. And trust me, if you haven't seen the video, he actually looks like he's running very quickly when he's running into ball. Right, I put out a tweet saying this starting 11 can beat any team. Any team in the Premier League, the starting 11 can beat. And then I got people going, how can you not get Big Dan Burn starting? But there we go. But I think that's a cracking starting 11. If everyone's fit and firing, I think that's our best starting 11. And then I looked and went, do you know what it is? We've got Barnes, Willock, Byrne, Murphy, Kraft, Miley, Asula, and Trips.
Yep.
That's 7 players as backup.
Yep.
And you can throw Dubravka in there as a goalkeeper.
I was going to say there's two more that you can name to the bench. So
go on. Dubravka.
I was saying
to the bench in general.
On a game day squad, you've got 9 subs that you can name to the bench.
Yeah. The media keeps saying that there are 2 players Newcastle are working towards that no one has figured out yet. Any idea who it might be? Nope. I think Sesko, though. I don't know why. I just like him. And because Arsenal aren't seem to be going for him, Man United aren't going for him anymore, I think Sesko could be a far out there shout.
Could be.
It's a massive far out there shout because he is a striker, so it means he's going to have to play a 10 and they would have to rotate because Sesko's a quality player.
He is.
But I don't think it'll be him, but I would love it to be him. I think the young lad Neve might get a chance next season. He might do if we don't sign another striker. I'd love it if we're Sesko and Richardson. Barella was the smokescreen for Tonali, so I'm thinking Sclavani is a smokescreen for Malik Chow.
Could be.
Yeah, a week ago they said they were working on 2 deals abroad. Yeah, working on. They like the look of. Da, 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 da. Anyway, back to this. So this is the 11. We've also got a decent bench. All we need is a right centre back, a centre forward, and
And a
that
keeper.
squad.
We,
Well, a keeper. Do we really need a keeper with Pope and
I,
Dubravka? I mean,
I,
like, at a push, I'd take Trafford if it
yeah,
happens. But I don't think the goalkeeper is a massive necessity this season.
we need the right center.
Simons is a
We
shout.
know we need the right center back
Yes, 100%.
because
The right centre
because
back and the centre forward are the 2 positions now. And then for me, before a goalkeeper, I'll be looking for a number 10.
fair enough.
I don't know if anyone is. I think they'll wait next summer and they'll reevaluate the situation and they'll have a look to see who they can get. I mean, Trafford's price might go down if they get relegated. So they might just.
Here's the thing: both of our keepers, our starting keepers, are in the last year of their contracts,
Mm,
and they're not getting any younger.
yeah, there is that. So,
Dubravka's 36, Pope is
yeah.
33, and they're both in their last year of their contract. And Dubravka kind of has a chip on his shoulder because he was playing really, really well and got him convinced to sign a 1-year extension,
Mm,
and then immediately dumped him to the bench as soon as Pope was fit.
yeah. I think this is why they want a goalkeeper now, so they're not scrapping around next summer.
Exactly.
But I think they'll scrap around next summer if this Trafford deal keeps on going south. And Pope, I think, will sign another year extension. How is it hard to shift because he's on a good wages, I'm guessing, and nobody really wants him because they don't think he's that good. I've said I give everyone a great option to get rid of the Greek goalkeeper for a year on loan to Saudi, and everyone's like, "Oh, won't happen." It's like, well, it could happen. I don't understand why we're not even attempting it. But anyway, back to the squad.
Why aren't we trying to get him on loan to a team in Greece?
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
on.
I mean, he's the Greek number 1 goalkeeper as well, which is
Exactly.
it makes it even more crazy, doesn't it?
AEK Athens won't take him. You
Yeah,
know, a team in Cyprus won't take him. Come on, what's going on?
exactly. We just need to get him out on loan and getting his wages
Yep.
paid, and it'll help
Yep.
massively.
Yep.
Right. Ignore, obviously, Callum Wilson, but these
Yep.
are some of the players that are on free transfers right now. I personally would only take 1 player off that list. Someone mentioned another player on this list to me, and I was like, but now
So
these are
Tamayasu was
Mhm.
they mutually agreed to cancel his contract because of his injury
records.
record. Kufal, that would be an interesting one. And Zuma's not going to Sunderland because he doesn't like cats. Semedo would be, I don't know. The problem with Decore is he's now older. When he was at Wolves before he was at Everton, correct? Or was it Watford? Watford,
Wofford.
and he was fantastic. Um, okay, I'm interested. Who's Kufal would be an interesting one for me. He would be the one that I would be interested in on that list. Who would you be interested in?
Too old for me.
Okay.
And where does he fit in? Because he's a right
Hmm.
back, isn't he? We've got Trips, we've got Tino. I think that would
We
be
got
a waste.
Kraft.
Yeah. Lindelof was one that someone mentioned to me, and I was like, no. And then they said, well, he is an international. He is a centre back, and he's free, and Eddie Howe could work his magic. Still not for me, though. This man's for me, Walker Peters, because he's
Okay,
versatile. And I
sure.
think he would be a decent squad player for the season coming up. Tomiyasu is definitely a no for me because of his injury record. But Kyle Walker-Peters
How
is the only name
how
for me.
old is Kyle Walker-Peters now?
I would say he's about 27, I think.
I'm gonna look it up because you're absolutely right. If he's young enough to where we're not walking into a problem there, and he hasn't had any injury
28.
problems. 28, yeah, that would be interesting. Oh, his middle name is Leonardus. That would be an interesting one. Agreed. That would be an interesting one, especially on a free.
Yeah, he can play the left, he can play the right. He is dominantly right, but he can play the left. That's the reason why someone said Lindelof would be a good addition, because he's Swedish.
Well,
Because he fits in with obviously our Swedish contingency. So if you add Lindelof and you add Kyle Walker-Peters, the squad is looking really strong. I wouldn't really do Lindelof, but again, it's all about opinions.
yep.
You
And
can
you know
add
what
ten.
you know what opinions are like.
Yep, we all have them.
Yep.
We all like arseholes, and we all have them. I think Sean Lindelof would be a decent pair for a season. Botman, why is Botman not even in there? So that's the free market. That's how the starting 11 looks to me. You might change things up a little bit, but I'm getting excited for the season now. I know we've only signed one player, but it's an exciting player. It gives depth. And I always said, if you buy someone who can replace someone in the starting 11, you're adding depth to the squad, because that player
Absolutely.
to the bench, and that's what we've done in Murphy. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit excited.
So for me, I'm starting to get excited, and I know we've had private conversations about this, but I'm getting excited for the 2 games for the Sella Cup.
Yeah,
Only because
we're
we're
going.
going to get to see that squad depth, because they're not going to play the same starting 11 2 games in a row,
That's
Friday
true.
night and Saturday night, and we'll see a bunch of the kids. And that was the exciting thing, for the summer series back in 23. We got to see a lot of the young kids. We got to see Lewis Miley. We got to see uh who's the other young man that did so well? Elliot Anderson, obviously. We got to see a lot of the younger players get some minutes, especially because it was so goddamn hot. Uh but I'm excited to see who's going to start on Friday. Now that we know that the Saturday game against Atletico is sold out, the Espanyol game takes on a bit
Struggling.
of a different shine, because it's like, okay, who we know they're going to play the stars on Saturday night. Maybe not the start, but they'll definitely get minutes. But then it starts to beg the question: who's going to be the starters on that Friday night?
Yeah. Didn't they do it
So
over in Australia though? Didn't they have 2 teams that had
yeah,
one game that had the youngsters, and the next game
yep.
they had the full 11
Well,
out? So
and the team that lost the second game was full of the kids. Yeah, it was that one was kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
yeah, Chris, we will not sell Gordon late in the window. Because no, we're not prepared, and everything screams this
And we're
window so far is nothing being prepared. So we will not sell him late in the window. Not a chance.
and we're not Ashley. We're not going to sell Gordon. If
Exactly.
someone pops up with 100 million or 80 million for Gordon 2 days before the end of the window, I don't see us even entertaining it.
No,
Because
definitely
we
not.
can't turn around and do anything with it. So
Exactly. And we're not going to weaken our squad just because they're dangling a chunk of money in front of us.
right,
We don't need to sell.
right.
No, I don't think we do. Not unless they come
So
now. They have to come now. It's as simple as that.
so somebody in the comments said that Alonga is on site at SJP and that there have been pictures taken. So we'll probably see those
Tomorrow
tomorrow morning.
afternoon.
The hopes that we obviously are working on other deals elsewhere,
Yeah.
for other positions. And the Gahey one would be interesting. Scalvini would be interesting. Who was the Argentinian center back that we were also looking at? What was his name? Not Balderi. Is it Balderi?
Something like that. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
remember his name now.
Is he going to be the smoke screen? Is one of those the smoke screen for another player like we did Tonali?
Yeah, I think that's what they were talking about.
Um, yeah, and then my next question is, Chelsea signing all these players, left, right, and center.
That's
They're going
it.
to have to start balancing the Balerdi. There you go. They're going to have to start balancing the book. So, is there
Oh,
another
they're
deal?
selling. They're
Is there
selling
another
Douglas.
deal like like a Livramento and a Hall and a Mo Salah and other players that they've had that all of a sudden turn into superstars. I'm looking at their books going, what
See,
who else have they got there?
there's 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 two things with Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea are either spending big because they foresee a transfer ban coming in for 2 years,
Yep.
or they're not going to sell anyone because they want to
Right.
buy, and then soak up that transfer ban if it comes in.
Right.
Now, it won't be because they sold the women's team to themselves. That is
Right.
legit. The Premier League have approved it. There's no way that could happen. But there might be other reasons why they're going to be banned because of potentially breaking the perimeters or whatever. I don't know which ones it'll be, wage cap or something like that. I don't know. The other thing is they've already sold a load of talent, and a lot of it you don't hear about because of the youngins.
Yep.
I mean, I've heard in the last few years they've sold like 300 million worth of talent.
Yep.
And then you put the PSR spin on the 300 million. I mean, God knows what their capabilities really are.
Yeah.
Not for me. Kudus had a good half a season, and he's definitely not a striker. So no.
And he bitched at the ball boy.
He bitched at the ball.
No one will forget that. That tells you something about his character, deep within.
That, for me, was the worst decision that lad made, the lad going to Chelsea. Especially the way Pedro started, and they've also signed a lad from Dortmund. I mean, I'd rather play second fiddle to Isak, knowing that you're going to get more game time than playing second fiddle to
but
like
Delap is just sitting there. Delap is sitting there getting into his mattress and swimming around in cash. I mean, let's all be honest. That's where he was going. He was always going to go where the money was.
Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't giving Chelsea enough credit as well sometimes. And I know it sounds weird to say that, but they're getting players on contracts which aren't as big as what people think they are.
No.
But they're a risk to the football club because if they can't sell the player or the player gets seriously injured, they're stuck with the player for a long period of time.
Yep.
That's
6, 7,
where
8-year contracts.
Yeah. Well, they're all 7, 8, 9 years, aren't they? But they aren't on like 250 grand a week, 200 grand a week. A lot of them are only on like 100,000 to 150,000 a week. But over the length of their playing career, that is a lot of money. And they're guaranteed that now that they're signed for Chelsea. The only way they lose that guarantee is if they get sold to another club and that club's only willing to give them a 3-4 year contract.
Right.
They're set for life where they are. Look at the lad from Leicester. Drinkwater went there.
Mm-hmm.
He hardly ever kicked the ball, and he was made for life because he had a 5-year contract or something like that. And you know what I mean? They got the guy who went there from Leicester recently as well. Double-barreled name. Drewsby Hall.
Right.
He went there. It's hardly kicked the ball for them. Do you know what I mean? But he's getting paid very handsomely, and he's very happy to get paid very handsomely. So he's living in London. He's living in the bright lights. He's doing everything that he needs to. So the long contracts are a risk to Chelsea, but they're not a risk to their PSR balance because they're only paying.
I'm still confused how they can hand out the long contracts when the Premier League came out with their ruling that the longest you could sign a player to is 5.
No. So the longest you can sign a player to a contract where you get atominized on or matominized, you know what I mean?
Amortized.
Amortized is 5 years.
Okay.
So they can sign someone for 10 years, but 5 years only counts towards that side.
The PSR. Got it. Yeah. Okay.
So the next 5 years is like, well, that's pure loss. Because you can't have the extra 5 years on top. So that's how it works.
As Lee says, that's not. Surely they can't be sustainable.
Well,
they're not going to throw money away for 5 years. So anyway,
again,
it's Chelsea. It's Chelsea.
Is it owner investigation for owner company that's selling tickets for crazy money over the internet? I have no idea.
There's a bunch of different stuff being leveled at Chelsea right now, and that was. But I mean, they've spent. Since their takeover, they've spent 1.3 billion pounds on players, And if you put that into American money, because of course Todd is American, that's 1.7 million, 1.7 billion US dollars.
Mental.
And remember that the club is now owned by a consortium,
Yeah.
that's made up of the owners of Clear Channel Radio and all kinds of, it's media contracts, media firms that now own Chelsea. So it's interesting times for
Mm.
Chelsea. And I don't know whether or not the Abramovich cloud has really completely
Vanished.
uncovered. Yeah,
Mm.
I think there's still some stuff there that could come back and bite them in the butt. But who knows?
Who knows? Who knows? But that's everything tonight. To summarize, don't be fooled on Twitter. Yes, I've also put stuff out there in the past that's wrong, but I very rarely put stuff on Twitter these days because I can't be bothered with the crap. So you'll get most of my crap on here. But to be honest with you, so far, we've actually done very well and we've actually got quite a lot of stuff right. Sean Longstaff deal is currently off at the moment. Trafford currently struggling to get that over the line as well. Elanga should be announced tomorrow. Don't know who else we're going to be signing, but we've given you a few ideas of what we think would help improve our squad. Free options, young options, and also expensive options as well. So take your pick, guys. If you would like to comment on the show or it's finished, drop the comments in. We'll reply to them. Hit the thumbs up. Like and subscribe. Please donate or become a member so we can give more money to charity and also keep the channel running for free, which really helps. Thank you, Emily, for joining us as always. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks to Dan as always. And, great insights as well. Really enjoy doing these. I know we don't really have loads of inside scoop information, but you got all the stuff on Sean Longstaff. So I hope it all made sense. Drop me a question if you want to know anything and drop me a question if you want some raffle tickets. And that is it, because Dan needs to go. Right.
I was going to say no clickbait merchants here.
Nope.
We are simply talking about what we can talk about and what's reasonable and what's not reasonable, and go from there.
Exactly. The love of our football club.
Indeed.
Take care, everyone. It's
Night
been
all.
fun. Night.